Shalom is real. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to whom it rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Badash. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and is no God beside them. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of a great millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and salutations to the elect whom the Lord hath given ears to hear. All right, my brother Kahan from the GMS New Jersey camp. And today's lesson is going to be simply entitled, Blessed Are Those Who Watch. And I was watching Elder Brother Kazak's lesson this morning. People will take the mark for fear of being left behind. And he played this guy. I'm trying to see if I could, let me see. Real shape shift. Right? So he played this guy. Let me see if he's going to play it.
All right, so we done videos on this chat before. You know, he's an Israelite, but he's a stupid Israelite. You know? This nigga gone, man. This a damn Greco-Roman. You know? This dude is a damn Hellenist, you know? Now, you see it says up here in the video, Neuralink heads to Japan. You roll like this? Nah, kid. They said it's AI, remember? Yeah, so somebody asked him, does he roll like this? His response was, nah, they said it was AI, remember? So
yeah, so I don't know if you was able to pick that up. I got my microphone on, but you had this one Jake, all right, who was I don't know his actual name, but he goes by the name of, as you saw, Real Shapeshift, right? And he's walking around pretty much as an advertisement for this devil Elon Musk. Advertising sin, essentially, as it is written in Revelation 14:9. All right, let's grab that actually, right? Because that's pretty much the premise of this lesson. That's pretty much the premise of this lesson. All right. That's crazy. Salaki, 1 second. Right, Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right. And this is yet another mark of the beast. All right, which today would be known as some type of chip implantation. And it's going to be forced upon you. And it's going to be sold as something great, as something miraculous, as it tells us in Revelation 13 and what's that, 15, by the means of those miracles. All right. But the end thereof is death, is painful death. And that's why it's very important to watch. Right. As I was meditating upon his lesson, I thought about this precept. Let me see. I believe it's in Proverbs. Right, Proverbs 20 and 21. It says, an inheritance may be gotten hastily at the beginning, but the end thereof shall not be blessed. Right, because you're dealing with Esau, Edom, the devil, so-called white man. All right. And again, as we watch, we watch brothers, we watch, of course, the scriptures. We watch brothers bring out the scriptures, giving us understanding. And also we watch these various movies that's put out in regards to um, the receiving of this MOTB. We call it the MOTB, but really it's an acronym for Revelation 13 and 16. Now, as we watch these movies, all right, movies that come to mind is a Upgrade, um, Ghost in the Shell. There was another movie called Subservience, Ex Machina. So many movies, right? Always to where the end thereof is that, is great pain upon either the human that took it or the human that subscribed to the services. What I mean by that is, because with the MOTB and, this new digital technocratic society, in a lot of these movies, they utilize, robots to upgrade a person's life. Meanwhile, at the end of the day, that robot ends up taking over, not just being a helpmeet, like that movie Subservient, Ex Machina. It's not just being a helpmeet. It actually desires to take over you. All right. And essentially, this being Esau Edom's invention, that's what it's meant to do. Like it tells us in Sirach 12, it says, never trust thy enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, right, like it tells us in Psalms 55 and 23, his words were as smooth as butter, but yet they were drawn swords. And go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. All right. So in other words, we're supposed to be standoffish towards the ways of this devil. You're not supposed to enhance, or not enhance, but be so gun-ho for it, for lack of better terms. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Right? Hey, and the vision is yet for an appointed time. Right? Meaning the MOTB, but not just that in regards to this video, the judgment behind it. That's yet for an appointed time. All right. Remember, the prophets, which we believe we are, we speak of things to come, not things that are happening right now necessarily, which we speak on those things too, but also things to come. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Okay, so let's go into that real quick. Sirach 12 and 12 serves as a strict warning against naivete with enemies. It counsels, do not set them next to you, lest they overthrow you and take your place. The verse cautions against allowing malicious individuals into your inner circle or positions of authority, right? And what's the highest position of authority over your what? Your spirit, your mind. All right. As they actively plot a hostile takeover. So that's essentially what's going to happen. Like I said, you can check those movies out. I thought I had it queued up. Okay, so this is one of the movies that I mentioned, Subservience. All right, check that out. Another movie called Ex Machina or Machina, however you say it. right? So for sake of time, I'm not going to read through, but as you see, the synopsis goes: Ex Machina is a critically acclaimed 2014 psychological sci-fi thriller written and directed by Alex Garland. It explores artificial intelligence, consciousness, and manipulation. Okay. So at the end of the day, manipulation will always be a part of his plot. It will be played out, for lack of better terms. So manipulation is the act of influencing, controlling, or managing someone or something to one's advantage. And again, we just read Sirach 12 and 12, which pretty much goes into how the enemy will seek to overtake you. He will manipulate you until he stands in your place, in a place of authority. Right? It spans several contexts, ranging. Slaki. Manipulation is the act of influencing, controlling, or managing someone with something to one's advantage, often in an unfair, dishonest, or underhanded manner. It spans several contexts, ranging from psychological interactions and interpersonal relationships to physical actions and financial markets. Okay? So, hey, watch. Blessed is he that watcheth. This is Proverbs 8 and 34. Blessed is the man. Let's start at 33. Hear instruction and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. And that's the prophets. Now, as the prophets are waiting and listening and seeing what the Lord is saying, guess what? We're passing it on, right? This is Habakkuk 2 and 1. I will stand upon the watch, my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So when you hear of what we see, all right, it is a point of correction. It is a point of getting your shit together. As we read, hear instruction, right? So in other words, we watch and we tell you what we saw, whereby you are to hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Okay? And, these people that scoff and scorn, and it's even written that they would do so. The scriptures tell us was that 2 Peter's, since our fathers fell asleep, the world continued as it was. But they don't understand that the same words that our fathers had spoke, these were the words that brought, various judgments. Whereas in 2 Peter's, it speaks on the first death, or the, the drowning, in the time of Noah. The flood in the time of Noah, Salakia. Right? These words are very serious, man. This precept also comes to mind, Ecclesiastes 12 and 11. The words of the wise are as golds. What is a gold? Might you ask? It says a gold is a pointed rod or stick used to urge animals forward. You see, so the words of the wise, they may prick you. Nevertheless, they are helpful, right? The prophets are also known as shepherds, if you hadn't known. It says metaphorically, it refers to any stimulus, incentive, or provocation that drives a person to take action, right? So the words of the wise are to drive you to take action to fear the Lord. Is it not written, through the fear of the Lord we persuade men? It says the words of the wise are as golds, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, okay, that was pretty much it on that. All right. And actually, I could have started at verse 9. It says, and moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yet he gave good heed and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. All right. And that's the thing, man. That's the beauty about, watching brothers, and moreover, or more so rather, understanding this truth. Because really all we got to do is watch. Hey, you might not have an idea to do a lesson. Just watch brothers. Hey, even Yahushua said, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The Lord literally gave us a slew of videos to watch and to be prepared. And that's all we are meant to do in these times. We're not meant to get rich, all right, make a name for ourselves. You're meant to watch and prepare yourselves in your households. Okay. Luke 12:37. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. The word watch goes into the Greek Gregorio, to watch, metaphorically give strict attention to, be cautious, active. Okay. So the caution is to look at the end thereof. When you make decisions, you look at the end thereof. We all guilty of making foolish decisions. Hell, the most foolish decision we've made is by not fearing Yahweh and Yahweh. And look at the end where we are now. All right, under the lowest of the basest, the most wicked of the heathen, Esau, Edom. Right, but it says to take heed lest through omission and indolence. Right, to take heed lest through remission and indolence. All right, that word remission is a period during which the symptoms and signs of a disease are significantly reduced or disappeared entirely. All right. And that word indolence is a noun that refers to habitual laziness. Right. So, in other words, take heed lest through remission and indolence, meaning at the time where judgment is not necessarily passed. All right. Oh, yeah, you could say that at the time where judgment is not necessarily passed. People are not getting judged. Jacob's trouble is not necessarily here just yet. All right. It's not full-fledged, rather. Some destructive calamity suddenly overtake one. And that's what we're telling you. Take heed lest some destructive calamity suddenly overtake one. Like the elder brother Kazak was saying, because some people was warning, but they was warning in the name of Christ, JC. And like the brother said, those that take it, that's it. Those that take it, they just signed on to a trap that they can't get out of. And that's what they don't get. And ultimately because they're now the elect. So they're made to be taken. Some people were born to be destroyed. Proverbs 16:4 tells us that. It's at 1 Peter 2. All right. Various times in the book of Peter's, he mentions that. Was it Peter's or Timothy's? I always get that confused. Where Salakia. This is a good one. 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. Right? So our job is to tell you that the trap is there, but if you fall into it, hey, the blood, at least the blood is off our hands. So with that, shalom to the elect.